This is a clip from Tucker on the Full Send podcast.
They're not here to inform you, really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No, their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
Wow. He said he had this revelation. He said he can't believe he supported the Iraq war. And he had that revelation that he was in fact a part of that control apparatus of the elites and how they are not there to inform. The legacy media is not here to inform you. Know that. At best, it's to entertain. That's what we talked about in the very first segment of this show. At best, it's to entertain. They also do much worse things than that, but at their very best, they're just entertainment. I was talking to a very high-level producer at one of the big news shows. It's a couple years. Oh, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast, Politics by Faith, I did an air quote. You can't see it. Maybe you could hear it. In college, we had the school newspaper, and then there was a comedy magazine, and they always referred to the school newspaper as the YDN, in quotes. I asked someone, I was like, why do they keep putting the N in quotes? And it was because like news. Just the news. News. So anyway, I was talking to this high-level producer of the news, and he said their bread and butter, the purpose of their show is to highlight hypocrisy of the Democrats. It's like one of the top shows. Our job is to highlight hypocrisy. And I'm like, okay, I guess. That's something. Fills time. But that doesn't do anything. Like that doesn't make me a better person. That doesn't like even move the political needle. Like I get it, right? Like we're a hypocrite. Because Republicans are hypocrites too, by the way. I'm a hypocrite. I have inconsistent views on things. My goal is to make them consistent. But I don't get to that place of being a more consistent person by calling out the Democrats for being hypocrites. I'd much rather spend our time searching for truth and calling myself out, like Tucker has done himself. Like Tucker and his support for the Iraq war. Instead of calling the Democrats hypocrites, I'd rather spend my time finding the truth and making sure I'm not a hypocrite. Anyway, the point is, the media is not here to inform. Like, if you want to just like, the best example of this is America's morning news shows. I saw some ad the other day, I forget where I saw it, and it was this big ad, and it said, Morning News Live. And it was on NBC, Morning News Live on NBC, and it was an ad for the Today Show, and it was Al Roker, the weather guy. And you're like, huh? This is like our news show? When was the last, like, have you ever seen the Today Show recently? I grew up watching the Today Show. It was on the background every morning in my house growing up before school. The Today Show it's of lower status than People Magazine. Like, People Magazine is The Economist compared to the Today Show. There's a line from the sitcom 30 Rock where Kenneth says, he says, the Today Show was originally designed to entertain prison inmates whose IQs were too low for them to be executed. And then Jack calls it news funtertainment. And that's almost all the news in legacy media today. It's just news funtertainment. So I encourage you to stop watching it just for your own good. Life is too short to waste your time. So what should you watch? You should watch this show and this show only. No, you decide. You decide what inputs in your life are good for your soul. What can you consume? Because you have more options now than ever before. What can you consume that is helping me be a better person? This is me personally, I want to be more informed. So I want to know what the facts are. I want to increase my perspective. So I want to know how other people view an issue, because that, if nothing else, it gives me more empathy for them, but then it also helps me understand my perspective more. So like, I think this, but what's the alternative? Okay, here's what these people think, and then here's what these people think. Okay, well that's wrong. So I can like triangulate, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I see what like the alternative. I want to know how we got here. I want to know what the stakes are in this issue, like, and where we could end up if we keep going in this direction, because like this isn't good. So if we keep going in this direction, we'll end up over here. I don't like over here. I'd rather be over here. So we need to change our direction. So like those are just the things I'm curious about. So is what I'm consuming doing those things for me? Most things don't, so I don't watch it, like the Today Show. I hope we do some of those things here. I hope you get some of that here. I think the big thing, though, people are yearning for things that are eternal. I think that's what people want. There's a lot of emptiness in our culture, in our news, and I think people want something real. Hopefully you pick up a few things here and there that on this show that are life-affirming. We try to deal with big principles and ancient paths and eternal truths. If the media's job is to entertain, to keep you watching, to sell more advertisements, that's fundertainment. Fundertainment to keep you there mixed with pure propaganda when necessary. And most people are just watching because it's habit. And people still trust the news. What? Or it's funny, if they don't trust the news, they trust their news. Sort of like how no one likes Congress, but everyone votes for their congressman. It's weird how that works, isn't it? This is a nice video of how we got here. And once I first saw this video a couple years ago, I was like, oh yeah, like I don't want to be this stick figure. I don't want to be one of these stick figures in the mob here. I want to be better than that. Here's
Person. People. Person realizes people need.
Hey people, what do you want? Some news? Yeah, some news. We want news. Some news, please.
Person gives people news.
The world is round. Wow. It's going to rain tomorrow. Wow. Less people are dying because technology is improving. Oh wow, that's so cool. Bad things happen here and then, but oh my god. We have police to catch the bad guys, so it's okay. Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
The next day.
The news is still pretty much the same as yesterday. Okay.
A few days later.
Yeah, the news is still the same. This is getting boring now. Yeah, this is getting boring.
A few more days later.
Anything interesting happen or? Nah. I don't like the news anymore.
A wild news competitor appears.
Everybody, I have more news. Yay! Yay! Hurrah! Hooray! A man died yesterday. Oh no, that's so sad. Hey, you're stealing my audience by only telling them worst-case scenario stories which take advantage of a human cognitive bias. That means we naturally pay more attention to negative events. Screw you, pal.
The competition for attention begins.
Hey, some random celebrities that you don't care about are getting divorced. Oh no, not the celebrities. Hey everyone, the sun gives you cancer. Oh, this is so entertaining. Bacon gives you cancer. Terrorists, they're coming to get you. There's a virus spreading around the world. Nobody can do anything to stop it, and you're all going to die.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be one of those screaming stick figures here. So where are we going? Let's wrap up here. Where are we going? 1984, George Orwell says that we are going to a place where the media is full-on government propaganda to control you and manipulate you for the government's globalist agenda. I don't think that's where we're going, although there's elements of that. I believe, I agree more with Aldous Huxley's Brave New World that says the end goal is to make you so stupid that you don't even care where we're going because all you care about are cat videos and TikToks. This is the vision of the movie Idiocracy. So if you haven't seen it before, this guy, he comes alive, I think it's 500 years in the future, and he's now the smartest person in the world because everyone has become so incredibly stupid. And the #1 show on TV is Ow, My Balls.
It all new Ow, My Balls. The balls. You're gonna get hit in the balls.
Are we that far away? Really? Truly, are we that far away? Here's the president's cabinet.
The Secretary of Defense. And fun bags over there is the Attorney General.
And that's the Secretary of Education. It's kind of stupid, but he's President Camacho's stepbrother. Still does a pretty good job.
Okay. I tend to think that's where we're headed if we keep going down this road. It's like the movie Wall-E, right? Where everyone's just carried around watching their screen in front of their face, drinking their sodas, and if they fall out of their cart, they got to be picked up and plopped back in. That's where we're headed right now. If we mindlessly carry on with our news fundertainment, that's who we will become. So what does the Bible say to do with all this, right? That's the point of our podcast. It's politics by faith. It's taking what's going on, look at the anxiety that is causing us, and then break it down, and then look at it through a biblical lens. So what does the Bible tell us to do? With a very important question here. Should Christians watch the news? And should Christians engage in politics? Because it's so easy to be like, well, yeah, you're right, Slater. This is not eternal, and it's of the world, and I'm out. I believe God established the church and the government to restrain evil. We should be working to transform hearts and to restrain evil wherever we can. How did we end slavery? How did we end the evil of slavery? On what moral foundation? And we did it through some political means as well. Well, don't get involved with politics, abolitionists. Christian influence of changing culture has outlawed, and not just outlawed, but made unfathomable infanticide, gladiatorial fights, human sacrifice, pedophilia, which is coming back, by the way, property rights, banning polygamy. In India, they used to burn widows alive at the stake, right? So these are political things that Christians got engaged in. So I think there are things that can make an eternal difference. And if watching the news helps you find moral clarity and conviction about important issues, then I think we should watch it and then pray and then do things to make a difference. Hey, thanks for watching that clip about the media, about it seems like it's all collapsing and what will rise from the ashes. The whole special is available on the First TV's app, which you can download for free, and also our Politics by Faith podcast, because in this special, we also ask a very interesting question. Should Christians watch the news? Should Christians be engaged in politics? There's so much lying and cheating, and it's just like, it's a mess, right? So should we even engage in such a messy worldly game? I believe the answer is yes. And we explain why in our podcast, Politics by Faith. You can download it everywhere, Politics by